Hi everyone, welcome to another Fairy Tale Fist Fight video. Now in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about all of the recurring events in this game and what are the best strategies to approach them. Basically, in this game, there isn't really any new events. Instead, there's always like 5 or 6 events that keep on coming back I think normally every 3 weeks. So because you will keep on seeing them, it's quite handy to know exactly what to do whenever it appears. And also, what's quite nice is that any resources that you get for those events, they don't actually expire. They can always be carried over to the next time when it reappears. So that basically gives you a bit of strategy where you can save up a lot of the resources and not spend it till once you have enough. So that's kind of the main idea here. Let's start off with Magic Will. The event itself is quite simple. Basically, you have in the ring or wheel of 8 items, and then you also have an outer one for 10. Now, if you hit this grid, then you'll be able to move on to the outer wheel. However, you also reset at the same time. So, for example, if I want to get every single one on the outside, I need to go to the outer wheel 10 times. And in order to get to the outer wheel, I kind of have a pity or maximum amount of 8 tries in order to get that. So, in total, it would take me 80 spins in order to get every single item. However, that's very much worth it because you do get this red magic device with a choice of 8, by the way. If you actually take a look in some of the other options, for example, from this place where you also have red magic device, but there's only an option of 4, and also in the mystery shop, there's also only an option of 4. So, this magic well, the 8 choice of 8 is the most flexible option you have in order to get one magic device, so it's definitely worth it. And also, it does include uh, magic device which you cannot get from the mystery shop. So basically, out of the 3 ways to get a magic device, this mystery shop is by far the easiest because you can just get those tokens from summoning rebates, etc. So this one you can definitely get it. Whereas the 2 event option, they will take a really long time. So knowing that this is have a way of getting the rare magic device that you cannot get easily normally, I think this is definitely worth it in my opinion. Now, like I said, in order to actually guarantee this, you kind of need to do 80 spins. Every single time you only get 2 or 3. So basically, that means you only get, you probably need to save up for 30 times. Actually, maybe not 30 times, but you need to save up for like a minimum. Yeah, probably 30 times on average, I think. 30 to 40 times in order to actually be able to guarantee all of the rewards. Also, bearing in mind, this event only come back, I think, once every 3 weeks. So if you actually do that, multiply by 3, we're actually talking about like 2 year worth of wait just to get that. So consider that whether you actually foresee yourself playing this game for 2 years, to guarantee that rare magic device. If you do want to gamble it, what I would suggest is you can potentially try to do it after you have had these kind of well, definitely only spin once you have 8. Well, I personally recommend 16, just so that you can get 2 rewards from the outer will. um the reason why I say 2 rewards is because this one is a really bad reward. So if you get this, that you're going to be very unlucky. So in order to actually guarantee one of the nicer reward, I would personally wait for at least 16 magic keys. But ideally, if you can actually wait long enough, you really want to wait for all 80. Um, the other reason why I really suggest you to wait for the long game of 80 times, even though it is going to take you like 2 years, is because even if you are lucky enough to get one of those rare magic devices, you actually need 80 shots in order to even redeem that. So if I just meant to, even if I hit a jackpot and get 40, that's going to mean nothing to me because I still wouldn't have anything. Whereas if you actually wait for the whole, uh, have enough to pity to do the 80 spins on this entire wheel to guarantee all of the rewards, then what you can see is you actually have 80 shots exactly once you add up those red magic device chests, and therefore you can actually then actually guarantee one of them. So this is kind of my source on magic device. So on magic wheel is try to go for that really nice long reward at the end where you actually have that option of a um, red magic device. Um, so this is this event. Then move on to the next event with a race. This one's quite straightforward. Basically, you just make bets. I can't even see it. never mind. But basically, what you want to do is that you make bet on those four characters on who would win, and what you get is you can bet a certain amount. For example, I will bet, let's say, Cobra, or Hot Eye. You can only bet 20 coins maximum. However, what you do get is a return of that multiplier you have. So obviously, the ones with the smaller return, they appear more frequently. The one with a higher return, they appear less frequently. I probably think the expected returns are the same. So obviously, if you bet on some of the lower end, what you get is more smaller reward but more consistent. Whereas if you're hoping for something big, then you bet on the other end. Now, what's nice is that anything that you lose, you actually get the money back anyway. So you're not. It's not really a gamble where you can lose anything. It's always going to be better off than what you start. So that's kind of why I do recommend to always bet if possible. So you can see here, I probably just lost that one, but let's see. I have 1496 coins here. The race just happened. Oh, I actually won. So I bet on Angel. So you can see I'll get 60 back. So you can see I am getting a huge amount of rewards back, which is very, very nice. And basically, even if I lose now, for example, if I bet on Cobra, even if I lose, you can see I went down to 1536, but even if I lose, I can get that 20 back and bring me back to 1556. So this is kind of the idea. Now, in terms of who to bet for, this is completely RNG. And like I said, I do believe the expected return is about the same, so it doesn't really matter who you bet. However, I strongly recommend you try to bet on Cobra and Hot Eye whenever possible if you haven't yet finished your missions or quests. And the reason being is that even though the expected return may be more or less the same, there are uh, extra rewards when you do them either 10 times in a row or you just bet on total of on the right wizard 200 times. So even though you can still risk it for Angel or Midnight because the return might still be the same, if you just keep on betting on Cobra or Hot Eye, you're much more likely to bet on the right wizard even though the return is small, and therefore you are much more likely to fulfill this quest a lot quicker, and that basically means you get your reward earlier, and then you can potentially get a slight advantage over other players. So this is kind of why I normally recommend betting on betting on Cobra or Hot Eye. I do tend to bet on the third person a lot, normally for the first race of the day, because I have seen that happening quite a lot, which is, you saw it just right now with me, right? I was betting on Angel, and I managed to win. That's the first race of the day. Whereas now I just changed to Cobra. So this is normally the strategy I use. However, if you're actually chasing for this consecutive betting correctly, what I actually recommend is you bet on two characters at once. So you can see here I already made a bet on Cobra, but what I can do is I can bet on Hot Eye as well. Now you can only do this for two of the characters, so you can't bet on all four to guarantee the win, but you can do it on two of them. And I strongly recommend you do it on Cobra and Hot Eye, just to make sure you can actually do the 10 consecutive betting correctly first. Once you have done that, then you are free to only go and bet one at a time. And I normally suggest only betting one at a time afterwards, because if you actually do bet on two of them, one of them is guaranteed to lose. And if one of them is guaranteed to lose, then you are kind of not getting anything for sure for that person. Whereas if I just bet normally on only one person, at least I have a chance of winning, right? So it just doesn't make sense to bet two people at a time unless you're chasing for that consecutive rewards and you really want to guarantee you're able to get it. I normally only start chasing for that once I get the first five correctly. So for the first five, I normally just try to bet on one person at a time. Normally Cobra or Hot Eye, I might spice it up and swap it out slightly, but normally one of those two. But once I start hitting already five consecutive wins, then I try to bet two at a time, just to make sure it get me over to the finishing line where I can actually claim that title and those extra reward for 10 correct consecutive guess. So that's kind of my thoughts on Wizard Race. Although I just forgot, there's also the shop which I should talk about. Now for the shop, always get this limited coupon whenever possible. The other two, magic coupon and elite coupon, I normally get that, but I only doing rebate event when I realize how much extra I need. So I try not to get them if possible, but it's not the worst thing in the world if you have to use them to reach a certain threshold in the rebate event for the cumulative summons. But the main prize you want to get is really this brilliant magic gear, because you can then get one of those rainbow ones, and it's actually selective as well. So that's really nice. In fact, let me do it now. So this is definitely the one you want to go for in the Wizard Race Exchange. Then if we go into the diamond shop, always get a free one every single time. And then I do always buy out the other ones, because these are diamonds, so the opportunity cost for this is quite small. Unlike the wizard race, where I can actually get a brilliant magic device, which I cannot just buy outright anywhere else. Like I can do the summons, but that's like taking massive gambles, so it's not really worth it. So that's kind of why I prefer to use my coins towards this rather than towards my summons. Whereas in the diamond shop it's different, because any diamonds I do not use, I will be using them for summons anyway. So now if the opportunity cost is just summons against summons, why do I not just get it for cheaper? And you do, trust me, you do need those elite and also magic gear coupons because you want to do well in the cumulative summon rebates as well. So you definitely do need to buy those extra ones, and why not just buy them at a discounted price? So this is kind of my source on diamond shop. Anything else, no worth it. Maybe the magic pots if you're really missing for it, but you know, in the long run that's probably not the best choice. And those magic device, no worth it, because for example this orange one you actually need 40 shards, whereas you can only buy 10 every single time. So just really not worth it in my opinion. It just take too long for it to build up. If you actually want to go for magic device, once again, something rebate event is the right idea of how you want to go about it. So definitely save your diamonds for those ones and only buy the lower exchange cost for the tickets. Then the last event is going to be Mystery Box. Now this is very similar to Magic World, where you have to have a chance of getting the red magic gear, and the 4 here are different to the 4 you can get in mystery shops. So once again, those are the more exclusive ones, so it's a good idea to get them. However, this takes an awful lot of time because it takes 20 rounds, and although it starts off with only like 4, it does eventually go into like 10 for each round. So I haven't done the exact math, but I'm gonna guess even for the last 10 rounds, because I need at least 10 for every single one of them, so that's gonna be at least 100 clicks, or 100 opens there, and then possibly another 80 in the total. So my guess is probably going to be like 170 or 180 openings in order to actually guarantee all of the rewards. It's still worth it in the end because, like I said, this is something really good. However, this event I think you only get 7 every single time because you get one free one every single time, every single day. So let's say if you need 180, and it takes 7 every single time, you are talking about, what's the matter? 25, I want to say. You're talking about like 25 events. Now, once again, this event only comes once every 3 weeks. So we're talking about 75 weeks. So 1 year and a half. It's still going to take an awful long time in order for you to guarantee that. Now, unlike the magic wheel, where if you don't summon, you can save everything towards the next time, mystery box is slightly different because there is actually this prize where if you open 5 times in a row, you get something, and also you also guarantee like a good prize for the very first time, so i.e. this 10 elite coupon. So what I tend to do actually is I do 5 summons, and then I get 1 back. So essentially I can do 5 openings for just 4 clicks, and also I can then get 10 elite coupons at the end of it. So this basically means rather than waiting for this really long-term rewards, trying to get a magic device, at least I'll get something in the short term, just in case the game is dead before that happens. So this is normally the approach I take, but in all honesty, it's completely up to you how you want to do it. You can do it similar to what I do, which is spend 5 tickets, then get 1 back, and then save the remaining 3 towards the future. So basically, it will take you twice as long to actually reach the red magic device, but at least you are also getting something in return in the short time. Or you can just go for the really long haul and just save everything toward the future, but it's still going to take you like a year and a half in order to guarantee it. So completely up to you how you want to do it, but those are This is typically the strategy I use, which is like a balance of short-term rewards and also a long-term goal of this red magic device in the far future. Okay, so those are the four events which are on right now, and then I will also briefly mention the something rebate event. Now I don't have the exact rewards in front of me, but I know for a fact what the strategy to do is you want to guarantee at least 100 summons in both of them. Minimum 100, you definitely want to do 100 in magic gear every single time, and no more than that. The reason is for 100, I think you get 10 of those tokens or medals back, and that's basically the way you build this up and eventually try to redeem for red magic device. So for the magic gear, always do 100. For the character summons, always guarantee 100 as well. However, if there also happen to be the character that you want, what you want to aim for is actually 900 summons. Basically, for 900 summons, I think you can get a total of 80 medals back. So the return is not as good as doing 100 summons and get 10 medals, which is why I recommend go for minimum 100 every single time to make sure you get a return of 10 medals back. However, when you're going all out to summon on character, because you'll be doing so much summons anyway, what you do want to do is to hit 900 for all those additional rewards, and the additional rewards you're going to get would be an orange magic device, which is definitely what you need in order to actually build them up. So you definitely want this orange magic device, and also you do get some like 6-star heaven stone as well. So those are all really good event rewards, which is why you do want to hit as high as possible in the cumulative. So my idea or my strategy so far has always been minimum 100 every single time, regardless what character banner is on. And if it's actually the character banner that you do want to summon on, then make sure you go all the way to 900. If you don't think you have enough for 900, then just park it for future. What you can do, I think, is like 600 is kind of the next breakout point where you can also get a lot of mystery medals. But personally, I'll try to go all the way to 900 in order to guarantee kind of the best rewards for myself. So this is my source, and also you don't have to worry about the event being on. However, the character you want is not on because the event is always on for 2 weeks. That cumulative summon is always on for 2 weeks, and any character banner is always on for 2 weeks as well. So even if you do not have the right character banner starting at the same time as the rebate event, what you can always do is wait for the second week of this character banner for it to actually align with, let's say, the first week of the rebate event, and then therefore summon all of your do all of your summons there. And that's also kind of my reason for not really summoning on any characters when there's no rebate event, because I know there's definitely going to be at least minimum of 1 week where it overlap. So I will always try to plan my summons during that time. But yeah, so this is kind of my thoughts on all of the different events in this game. Hopefully it helps you guys.